So before this video gets started, I just wanted to let you guys know something. I am going to TwitchCon from the 26th to the 30th of September. I am so beyond excited to go. I went last year with Alex. Last year it was in San Jose, California, and now it's in San Diego. I had so much fun last year. I'm really excited to go again this year, and this year I get to meet some of my internet friends, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be going next weekend because I've had a couple of you guys come over to my Twitch stream from YouTube and say that you guys are going to TwitchCon. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I am going, and that if you do see me there, please don't hesitate to come up and say hi if you want to. I haven't decided if I'm going to film anything at TwitchCon yet. Last year I did. I filmed like a little montage, which I think is still up, but I think I got copyright stricken for it. So it might be muted, I think. I can change the audio though. I haven't decided if I'm going to be filming or like vlogging or anything yet. I probably won't decide until I'm there, but I have had a few people ask me to vlog it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I know you guys are mostly here for the spooky content, but if you guys do want to see anything about my trip, please let me know. Hey dudes, what's up? A lot of you guys in my last reading paranormal stories video told me that you guys actually really like my longer intros, and that made me so happy. Like, you guys have no idea. I think I just got stuck reading comments that said like, I don't like the longer intros and just get into the stories, and I kind of figured that my paranormal stories videos were just about the stories to most of you guys, and so that's why I kind of took that approach, just because I want to do something that you guys like and I don't want to annoy you. But so many of you guys, like all of you guys on that video, said that you love my longer intros. I just wanted to say thank you. Like, that is so sweet. It made me smile and so happy, so thank you. But that being said, we're gonna read more of your paranormal stories today. I picked out a few. I actually picked out a lot, but I don't know how many we're gonna get to in this video. I'm on a little bit of a time crunch today, so we'll see. But let's just get into the stories. Let's hear what spooky things you guys have had going on. So this first story is from Millie, and she originally sent it to me once, but then sent it again and was like, I'm so sorry, I left some key things out, so I'm just gonna send it again. So I'm gonna read her edited version, and yeah, it's really long, so those of you guys who like the longer ones should be happy, and let's get into it. She says, hello from England, and then edit, I moved to Spain. I wanted to share a paranormal story with you about my paranormal life. Basically, when I was 3 or 4, I lived in an extremely old converted barn. There was said to be a little girl spirit there. No one knew how she died, but I think it was a house fire, and that's why the barn was rebuilt and converted. She was the same age as me and was named Lucy. I was playing in my playroom where I spent all my time, and I was talking, giggling, and bouncing about my room. My mom was wondering what I was doing, so she came in and asked me, and I replied, just playing with Lucy. Obviously, my mom and dad knew that this place was haunted, because when they bought the property, they were told about it, so they kind of brushed it off. I was best friends with Lucy and can still remember her vividly. She wore a brown, old-fashioned dress, and she had blonde hair, pale skin, and deep gray eyes. This is only part 1. Ooh, okay, there's parts. I never understood that she was a ghost because my mom and dad didn't want to frighten me, because I thought she was my best friend. We moved out when my mom and dad had their second child, and I think Lucy was tied to the barn, as I never felt her or saw her again. So she was not tied to me. A bit later, my granddad sadly died, and my family were depressed. I wasn't though, because I was too young to understand, so whenever I went to my nanny's house, I would talk about him and talk to him. Still to this day, even though it's nearly 10 years later, I hear his footsteps creaking the floorboards upstairs in Nan's house. Since his death, my Nan's dog has been playing in the garden with him, a bit like your cat has been jumping about a presence, I believe. Oh, okay, so she's talking about, if you guys haven't seen my haunted apartment video, I included videos of my cat kind of playing with a spirit, so that's what she's talking about. And my Nan and granddad are very interested in motorbikes, so at a motorbike rally, when he was already dead, it was about 11 p.m. and all the bikers were in the garden having a beer, and I was there with my mom. This isn't finished yet, oh my god. She sent it in like little message, so each one it's like, this is part 1, this isn't finished yet. That's so cute. And I saw my granddad holding some beer in the chair next to his mate, and then he looked at me and smiled, and then he was gone. He didn't walk off, but he just went, and it's so hard to describe. He didn't just disappear, but he did at the same time. I don't know. Part 3. My mom welcomed a cat into our home called Callie a while ago, and sadly 2 years ago she passed away from being in a road accident. But an exact look-alike with the exact DNA, a key thing I missed out, it wasn't the exact DNA, lol. That's not possible. But the same relation, like we know for a fact that they were both from the same litter, and they were both strays. And they were identical. The cat came to our house the following week, and it just turned up on the doorstep. As soon as Casper came, he acted like he had been there for a while already. For example, he always came into my room and sat in Callie's favorite spot. Also, they had their favorite tickle spot, which was on their neck. They are tabbies, and we called it Casper. Like Casper the ghost, to joke about the fact it was Callie in another form. That's actually adorable. Casper's such a cute name for a little kitty. The following day, a dark brown and ginger cat came as well, who my 2-year-old sister pronounced as Davil, which kind of sounds like devil, which is really weird. But Casper and the other cat never got along and always fought each other, and sadly they died exactly the same way as Callie, on the same place on the road. I always found this strange but did not make a direct connection about it. Part 4. Around 3 months after they died, I felt Casper's thick, coarse fur brush against my arm while I was in bed, and I have a lot of dreams of him sitting on top of my wardrobe guarding over me. Sadly, recently my dog that I was talking about, who plays with my past granddad, had a stroke and had to be put down for having arthritis and health stuff wrong with him. I cried for weeks about this, and he has been barking for me in my nan's house and waiting for food where my nan used to serve him his dinner. His spirit has faded since, and I don't see him, but I always feel him. I went through a lot of mental health problems while I was mourning over the loss of him, and my anxiety increased and I felt more depressed, and I always saw him in my dreams. As I have moved to Spain now, I feel as if I have been so much happier as I left all of the negatives behind me, but he's still with me. I have a photo frame beside my bed of him still. Also, I had a photo taken of me and my nanny who owned him, and sadly I don't have this photo anymore, or I would have sent it to you. But it had a green, blue, and pink orb closely together, and I believe it was Harley, my nanny's dog. You have really had a lot happen to you. I'm just like scrolling up it as I'm talking. That's so cool that your cat came back to you twice though. I love the idea that like animals can come back in a way. For example, my first cat that I've ever had, his name was Smudge. He was a ragdoll and a Himalayan mix. And he died from a heart failure when he was 4 years old, and the doctors believe it's the Himalayan side of him that caused the heart problem, because I guess a lot of Himalayans do have heart problems. But shortly after he died, I believe it was like a year or so, we got Scooter and Stormy, and it's crazy because Scooter and Stormy both have his personality, but it's like the personality was split into two cats. And so the reason we think that is because Smudge used to take turns of who he would sleep with. He would sleep with my sister one night, and then the next night he'd sleep with me, and then he'd sleep with my sister, and then with me. So we believe that he died so that he could split himself into two, so that he could both see like me and my sister at the same time. And then that's why we have Scooter, who is mine, and Stormy, who's my sister's. And then the way he split was like what we enjoyed the most about him. I like cats who are like cuddly, like I like to hold my cats and just like pet them. Lilith doesn't do that, so she's different. But Scooter, when I'm over at my mom's, I'll hold him for 30 to 45 minutes and he'll just sit there purring the whole time. And although my sister likes cuddly cats like that, she also enjoyed the playful side. So we believe that's why like Stormy has the more playful side and Scooter has the more cuddly side. And so it's just cool to see how that could happen. I don't know. But yeah, enough of me blabbering on about my pets. So this story comes from Paige. This is just one story that all ends up intertwining. 2004 or 2005, I, Paige, was either 4 or 5, and during this time it was just me and my older sister. She was 6, and we can call her Wendy. We shared a small 8x9 room in the back of the 2-bedroom house. Later we will add 2 younger siblings than me to this room. But for the time being, my older sister and I had bunk beds. This bunk bed's top bunk had a shelf connected to the bed, and it created a small little cubby hole slightly below the mattress. Anywho, I was asleep in this cubby hole, and in this cubby there is a circular hole where the ladder to get up screws in, but the circle is a little larger than a quarter, with a line going across horizontally. I remember waking up to a loud bang, and the clatter of cabinets being slammed and dishes being broke. I'm shaking things off, getting ready to go to sleep, when a girl no older than 8 comes into my room, her gray purplish blue skin matching her smoky lavender and tangled rose nightgown she wore, which always looked like my old Mary Kate and Ashley gown, that at one point or another completely vanished, and rounded eyeglasses. I look at the front of the bed, seeing Wendy sound asleep. I see this girl walk in, go straight to my dresser, and start ripping everything out of my dresser and placing my clothing over her nightgown. She then turns and heads for the closet. I slowly try to inch myself forward to get a better view of her. My back feet hit the other end of the cubby. She spun around so quickly before climbing up the ladder to me and leaning down to bite my right wrist, and then she vanished before my eyes. I don't see her anymore, nor do I remember falling asleep that night. A few years prior to my experience, my sister Wendy had a similar experience. I was maybe 2 or 3 this time. She's 4 or 5, and we had spent the whole day cleaning. Well, next morning, our mom wakes us up, and she is furious that there is a mess everywhere. Clothes and toys under the bed, and many other objects thrown about the room. My sister tells my mom, no, it wasn't us. It was a little girl, and she was looking for her brother. 2007, Harper's imaginary friend. My second youngest sister didn't talk until she was about 3, besides grunting and pointing and simple baby words. She finally got out of the binky phase. Now she has imaginary friends. This was the first time any of us had any imaginary friends. She would play with them for hours. One night, she is with my oldest sister, Wendy, and she is just bouncing on Wendy's bed until Wendy woke up. Once Wendy was awake, she asked, "What are you doing?" To which Harper responded, "Jumping with the little boy and girl." Ew, I hate when kids say, "I'm doing this with this person," when they're clearly not there. Okay, I need to get my charger. My laptop's dying. So I'm gonna read one more story in today's video, and this comes from Rachel. She says, "Hey girl, I have been binge watching your paranormal videos for hours now, and I am seriously obsessed. I love all your videos so much. You guys are so sweet. Since you're doing the paranormal stories videos, I thought I would send you my most terrifying experience. Yes, I am ready. I am convinced that my childhood home is haunted. Ever since doing an Ouija board. I've never said an Ouija board. It's Ouija. Who am I? Ever since doing a Ouija board session when I was 13, I have experienced things that are unexplainable. This one night, I was in my room, in bed, talking on the phone with my friend. My little brother was in his bedroom. Both of our rooms were upstairs. My parents were out having a date night, so we were home alone. All of the windows and doors were locked. Alarms were set, and we were getting ready to go to sleep. All of a sudden, I started hearing faint footsteps coming up the staircase. Very slowly, one by one, each footstep grew louder. I thought it was my brother, so I yelled out his name, and he came running into the room. He was hearing the footsteps too. We sat on my bed, holding each other, absolutely terrified. The steps got louder and louder. It sounded like someone was stomping heavily as they were coming up the stairs. I was 5 seconds away from calling 911 when they just suddenly stopped. As soon as they got to the top of the stairs, they vanished into thin air. My parents arrived home about 15 minutes later, and we told them what we heard, but they didn't believe us. It was truly one of the most terrifying things I've ever experienced, and this is 100% unexplainable. I don't like that. I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Am I the only one wondering where it went? If it's walking up the stairs and making such a point to allow you and your brother to hear it walking up the stairs, where did it go? So those are all the stories I'm going to be reading in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to everybody who has been sending me their paranormal stories. If you guys want to send me your stories, please send them to me over on Instagram in my DMs. My link will be below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everybody. And I was tockling, what?